Imagine a millionaire widower, his heart heavy with grief, struggling to calm his sobbing daughter in a mansion that feels more like a mausoleum. Desperate, he hands her to his maid, a woman he barely acknowledges. In moments, she soothes the child with a gentle touch and a whispered secret, a revelation so staggering it stops him in his tracks, unraveling everything he thought he knew. What could a maid, invisible in his world of wealth, know that could shake a man to his core? This isn't just a story of loss or luxury, it's a journey of hidden truths, unlikely bonds, and a moment that rewrites lives. You're about to dive into a tale so gripping, so heart-wrenching, it'll leave you breathless and maybe even in tears. Join us for the extraordinary story of James Thornton, Elena Martinez, and little Ava, a saga that proves secrets can heal as much as they surprise. Hit play, and let's unravel this unforgettable tale. Hey, everyone! Welcome back to the channel, where we unearth stories that touch your heart, spark your imagination, and remind you of the beauty in human connection. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and join our vibrant community of story lovers. We're beyond thrilled to have you with us. Today, we're diving into a tale that feels like it was plucked from a Hollywood script, but it's real, raw, and deeply human. This is the story of James Thornton, a millionaire real estate mogul, Elena Martinez, the maid who kept his mansion running, and a single, life-altering moment that changed their worlds forever. This isn't just about wealth or grief, it's about trust, revelation, and the power of a secret to mend broken hearts. Let's meet James Thornton. At 45, he's the king of Los Angeles real estate, a man whose name is etched on skyscrapers and beachfront estates across the city. With a net worth exceeding $100 million, James lives in a Hollywood Hills mansion that's the stuff of dreams, infinity pools that blend into the horizon, marble countertops gleaming under crystal chandeliers, and panoramic views of the sprawling city below. His life looks perfect on paper, private jets, designer suits, and a reputation that opens every door. But beneath the surface, James is a man in pieces. 2 years ago, his wife, Sarah, died suddenly from a rare illness, leaving him to raise their 3-year-old daughter, Ava, alone. Grief became his shadow, and James coped the only way he knew how, by burying himself in work, leaving Ava's care to a rotating cast of nannies and household staff. Enter Elena Martinez, a 32-year-old single mother who's been a maid for the Thorntons for 4 years. Elena hails from a working-class neighborhood in East LA, where she lives in a modest apartment with her 15-year-old son, Mateo. She's not the polished type you'd expect in a millionaire's mansion, no fancy degrees, no connections, but she has a quiet strength, a warm smile, and a presence that puts people at ease. Her job is straightforward: clean the mansion, cook meals, keep everything spotless. She's not part of Ava's caregiving team, but Elena has a gift with the little girl. When Ava wanders into the kitchen, clutching her stuffed bunny, Elena offers a cookie or a soft lullaby, her voice soothing the toddler's restlessness. To James, Elena is just another face in the army of staff, reliable, invisible, someone he barely registers beyond a nod or a curt instruction. Elena's life is a grind. She wakes at 4:30 a.m., catches an hour-long bus ride to the mansion, and spends her days scrubbing floors, polishing silver, and cooking for events she'll never attend. Her wages, barely above minimum, cover rent and groceries, but leave little for savings. Still, Elena never complains. She's meticulous, her work flawless, driven by her love for Mateo and her dream of sending him to college. Her warmth spills over to Ava, even though it's not her job. She notices the toddler's sadness, the way she clings to her bunny, searching for a mother she barely remembers. Elena's heart aches for her, and she finds herself stepping in when nannies falter, offering a hug or a story to ease Ava's tears. James, meanwhile, is unraveling. His days are packed with high-stakes meetings, negotiating deals that shape LA's skyline. But at night, his mansion feels like a hollow shell, haunted by Sarah's absence. Photos of her line the halls, her smile frozen in time, but James avoids them, unable to face the pain. He loves Ava fiercely, but fatherhood overwhelms him. Her tantrums leave him helpless, her cries cut through him like a knife, and he feels like a failure every time he can't soothe her. Elena, on the other hand, has a magic touch. She'll scoop Ava up during a meltdown, hum a Spanish lullaby, and calm her in minutes. James sees this, and it stirs a complex mix of emotions, gratitude for Elena's help, but also frustration, even jealousy. He's Ava's father, why can't he be the one she turns to? Elena stays professional, keeping her distance despite her affection for Ava. But she's hiding something, a secret tied to her past, to Sarah, and to Ava in a way no one could have predicted. It's not malicious, but it's deeply personal, and it's about to come to light in a way that will change everything. Let's dive into the problem that pushed James to the edge, and the secret that was about to unravel his world. James's life as a single father was a tightrope walk over a chasm of grief. Ava, at 3, was a bright spark, curious, with Sarah's big brown eyes and a laugh that could light up a room. But her mother's absence left her clingy, prone to tantrums that no one seemed able to tame. James tried to be there, but he was drowning. He'd hired a string of nannies, each promising to be the answer, but they'd quit one after another, overwhelmed by Ava's meltdowns or frustrated by James's distant, demanding demeanor. He felt helpless, watching his daughter cry for a mother he couldn't bring back. His solution? Work harder, stay later, delegate Ava's care to staff who struggled to fill the void. Elena, though not officially a caregiver, became Ava's unexpected haven. She'd spot the toddler wandering the mansion's endless halls, clutching her worn stuffed bunny, and offer a gentle distraction, a story about a magical forest, a cookie fresh from the oven, a soft hum of a lullaby. When Ava had a meltdown in the kitchen, Elena would kneel to her level, her voice steady and warm, calming her with an ease that seemed almost supernatural. These moments weren't part of her job, but Elena couldn't turn away. She saw Sarah in Ava, the same tilt of the head, the same need for love, and it stirred a protective instinct she couldn't ignore. James noticed these interactions, and they gnawed at him. He was grateful, in a distant way, but also frustrated. He was Ava's father, yet a maid, a woman he barely knew. Had a bond with his daughter he couldn't replicate. That frustration festered into suspicion. Elena was too involved, too good with Ava for someone whose role was cleaning. He started watching her closely, picking up on details he'd overlooked. She'd linger near Ava, even after her tasks were done. She'd take hushed phone calls with her son, Matteo, her voice too low to hear. And there was that locket, a small silver heart she always wore, tucking it away when she caught him looking. Was she getting too close to Ava? Was she hiding something? James's grief made him paranoid. Losing Sarah so suddenly had shattered his trust in the world. The fear of losing Ava, to illness, to someone else, to his own failures as a father, kept him up at night. He'd lie awake, replaying Sarah's final days, blaming himself for not seeing the signs. Now, with Elena, his suspicions grew. What if she was manipulating Ava? What if she had ulterior motives? He didn't ask her directly. He let his doubts build, fueled by his isolation and the weight of his loss. The breaking point came on a stormy afternoon in late fall. James came home early, his mood dark after a deal fell through, costing him millions. He was exhausted, haunted by another sleepless night of memories and regrets. In the living room, he found Ava screaming, her face red with tears, her bunny clutched tightly. The nanny was nowhere to be seen, but Elena was there, holding Ava, rocking her gently, her voice a soft murmur against the toddler's sobs. James's patience snapped. "What are you doing?" he barked. "You're not her nanny." Elena, calm but firm, explained that Ava had been upset and the nanny had stepped out. She'd only wanted to help. But James wasn't listening. His suspicions boiled over, fueled by grief and stress. "What are you hiding?" he demanded, his voice sharp. "Why are you always around my daughter?" Elena's face tightened, hurt flashing in her eyes, but she stood her ground. "I'm not hiding anything, Mr. Thornton. I care about Ava. James, his fear and anger colliding, pressed harder. I don't trust you. Tell me the truth, or you're out of here. Elena hesitated, her hand brushing the locket at her neck. As Ava's cries grew louder, piercing the tense silence, Elena leaned down, whispered something to the child, and Ava quieted instantly, her sobs fading to soft hiccups. James froze, his heart pounding. What had she said? What secret was she keeping that could calm his daughter so completely? Let's rewind to understand how this moment came to be, and what Elena's whisper meant for them all. To grasp the weight of that moment, we need to go back to Elena's first days with the Thorntons, 4 years ago, when Sarah was still alive. The mansion was a different place then, warm, vibrant, filled with Sarah's infectious laughter and her knack for making everyone feel like family. Elena, fresh from a string of low-paying jobs, was hired as a maid, tasked with keeping the sprawling estate spotless. She admired Sarah, who'd often linger in the kitchen during late-night baking sessions, chatting with Elena about Matteo, her dreams for Ava, or the challenges of pregnancy. Sarah's kindness was a lifeline for Elena, who was struggling to raise Matteo alone after her husband left. Those kitchen conversations became a ritual. Sarah, pregnant with Ava, shared her hopes and fears, her excitement for motherhood, but also her worry about a lingering illness she couldn't shake. One night, as they kneaded dough for cinnamon rolls, Sarah grew serious. She pulled out a small silver locket, a heart-shaped pendant with a photo of her and a newborn Ava inside. If anything happens to me, she said, her voice trembling, promise you'll watch over Ava. You're a mother, you'll know what she needs. Elena, moved by Sarah's trust, took the locket and promised, never imagining she'd need to keep that vow. When Sarah died just months later, the mansion changed. James withdrew, his warmth replaced by a cold, mechanical focus on work. The staff grew tense, tiptoeing around his grief. Ava, just a baby, became the heart of a broken home, cared for by nannies who struggled to understand her needs. Elena kept her promise in small ways. She'd comfort Ava when she cried, sing the lullabies Sarah loved, soft Spanish songs her own mother had taught her. She wore the locket every day, a quiet reminder of her vow, but she never told James. He was too distant, too consumed by grief, and she feared he wouldn't understand. As Ava grew into a toddler, Elena's bond with her deepened. Ava would follow her through the mansion, clutching her bunny, drawn to Elena's warmth. Elena would tell her stories, tales of magical forests and brave princesses, or sneak her a cookie when the nannies weren't looking. She saw Sarah in Ava's bright eyes, her curious smile, and it stirred a protective love. Elena started a journal, documenting Ava's milestones, her first word, bunny, her first step, the way she'd giggle at a silly song. It was for Ava, but also for James, a way to show him the daughter he was missing, though she wasn't sure he'd ever care to see it. James, meanwhile, was spiraling. Work was his refuge, a way to escape the pain of Sarah's death. He'd spend 12-hour days negotiating deals, building his empire, but the mansion felt like a tomb. Sarah's absence was everywhere, in the photos he avoided, the nursery he rarely entered. He loved Ava, but her tantrums overwhelmed him, her cries echoing his own failures. Elena's ease with Ava only highlighted his struggles. He'd see her calm Ava with a lullaby, and it stirred a mix of gratitude and resentment. Why could a maid connect with his daughter when he couldn't? His suspicions grew, fed by small things, the locket Elena always wore, the hushed calls with Matteo, the journal she tucked away. He didn't ask questions, he let his grief and fear build a case against her. Was she too close to Ava? Was she hiding something that could hurt his daughter? He didn't know, but the uncertainty gnawed at him, amplified by his isolation and the weight of his loss. That stormy afternoon, when James confronted Elena, it was his grief speaking, his fear of losing Ava to someone else. As Ava's cries filled the room, Elena leaned down, whispered, "Mommy's always with you," and Ava quieted, her tiny hands clutching Elena's sleeve. James demanded, "What did you say?" Elena hesitated, then opened the locket, revealing the photo of Sarah and Ava. She told him everything: Sarah's illness, her fears, the locket, the promise to watch over Ava. James stood frozen, tears welling in his eyes. He hadn't known about Sarah's talks with Elena, her trust in this woman he'd overlooked. Elena's secret wasn't betrayal, it was a vow kept, a lifeline to Sarah's love for Ava. That moment in the living room was a seismic shift. Elena's whisper, the locket, the truth about Sarah's promise, it hit James like a tidal wave, washing away his suspicions and exposing his grief. He saw Elena not as a maid, but as a woman who'd kept Sarah's love alive for Ava. His voice broke as he apologized. "I didn't know," he said, tears streaming down his face. "I thought you were taking her from me." Elena shook her head, her own eyes glistening. "I'd never do that. Sarah wanted Ava to have you, too." James asked Elena to stay, not just as a maid, but as Ava's primary caregiver. Over the next weeks, they formed an unlikely bond. Elena shared stories of Sarah, her love for Ava, her dreams for her daughter, helping James reconnect with his wife's memory. He started spending more time with Ava, learning her favorite songs, reading her bedtime stories. Elena's journal became his guide, a window into Ava's world, filled with moments he'd missed but could now cherish. Elena's story is a testament to the power of promises kept and love that endures. She could have walked away, let James's accusations end their story, but she stayed, choosing Ava and Sarah's memory over her own hurt. That choice changed everything. James didn't just keep Elena on, he made her Ava's nanny, giving her a significant raise and a place in their lives. He started therapy, confronting his grief head-on, and became the father Ava deserved, present, engaged, singing lullabies every night. Elena's son, Matteo, received a college scholarship, funded by James as a thank you for her loyalty. Today, Ava is a thriving 4-year-old, with a father who reads her stories and a nanny whose family. Elena's locket remains a symbol of Sarah's love, a reminder that even in loss, connection endures. This story shows that secrets, when born of love, can heal. Elena's promise, and James's openness, prove that even in our darkest moments, love can light the way. If Elena and James's story touched your heart, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs a spark of hope. Subscribe and ring the bell for more stories that inspire and uplift. Drop a comment: have you ever discovered a secret that changed your perspective? We'd love to hear your story. Let's spread love and connection together. See you in the next video.